3AW Footy Highlights.
Houston pass, excellent. They've got a chance now. As Steele has it, you catch it right, left goalpost, and there is a bit of a vortex. Plenty on the kick, ball on its way. Got there easily. I don't like the kick at all. Now this is their chance. Langford's got it. Goes wide. Day Wicks has it, quite kickable. He's got a chance of roosting this, boys. On its way. Contact is good. Contact is outstanding, and Essendon on the board.
Scrappy little handball might suit to go. He will in fact, and he bursts through 50, and he looks at the goals, and he kicks the first nomination for the Star 21 goal of the day. 21. And ANZAC Kako then puts a 60-metre high drop punt in the direction of Day Wicks. Steps out, snaps on the left boot, and he's got both of Essendon's goals.
Essendon caddy should come up with him, but bounces, can go inside if he wants to. Kako ignores that, kicks the ball to Ward, full forward. Essendon mark. Durham dead in front, and the ball is on its way.
Houston does take the mark, and then kicks brilliantly. Elliott, and immediately comes back inboard to the long-kicking McCreary. From 51 metres, he sets sail, and he kicks it magnificently. Brandon and Caddy. Brandon drags Caddy to ground. Was their free kick paid? No. Caddy recovers best. Twisting and turning. Could have given off by hand to Durham. Says, no, I'll do it myself. Parrish, he handled a Blackiston who waited for it. McCreary picked his pocket. Got it to Ngoe. To Pendlebury. The seas part. Darts. Swerves. And goals! Next in the line is Elliott. He now kicks to a contest. And Steele is reading the cues. Snapping superbly.
Lipinski knocks the ball away, makes the spoil at the last. Clean pick up, that time. Kako off the ground! What an extraordinary goal!
Farrow hoofs one to centre wing. Huge slide from Jeremy Howe! Long kick to the top of the square. El Houli in from the side. Spikes it. It's not through yet. It's not through yet. And is that Avery Anderson? Who's anything but Avery? He's now very, very happy.
Pendlebury, who I think's best on the ground at the moment, runs to centre forward, unselfishly, to Ngoe, to nail it. His second, magnificent teamwork set up by Scott Pendlebury. Hard lead it was that time then from Elliott. Ngoe picks it up. Ngoe around the body. He's just fantastic. Handball to Maynard, to Lipinski, to Pendlebury. All clean play. They free up Crisp. 40 metres out. Ball is on its way. A brilliant team goal to the top of the square. They're into attack. There's Sidebottom completed the mark. No, says the umpire. And then through traffic being held, has kicked a magnificent goal.
You are kidding.
I would hope whoever's doing this recognises Scott Pendlebury. Yeah, they're listening to 3AW. Have a look at that. Chance now for Cameron to go wide. A lot of holding taking place. Free kick to Pendlebury.
I think the crowd willed the free kick.
And it's there too. Roberts cheap suiting him. So this will be it. This breaks his record of 42 touches.
And the Collingwood chant goes up, or the Pendles chant goes up.
From 25 metres out, Scott Pendlebury breaks the record next week. No point telling you the result.
Centering ball, looking for Caddy. Was that an arm chop? Umpire says yes, it was. And Nate Caddy directly in front, about 30 out, will go back and line up for his third, and he probably will kick after the siren. So the margin, let's give it in goals and points. The margin actually stands at 12 goals, 11. So it's 83 points before the Caddy kick, which is going to be the last of the match. And the Magpies break their 2008 record as Caddy kicks the goal. His third of the day, all in the second half. The Collingwood have demolished the Bombers 2017 to 9-6.
And the winner of the ANZAC Day medal for the fourth time is Scott Pendlebury of the Collingwood Football Club.
.3AW is football.
Irrespective of any result, the thrilling draws, the one-sided games, it is always special to be here on this day as the teams embrace it. Centre forward City and Essendon, a forlorn and ragged bunch, emerged no doubt the last couple of weeks, given renewed hope, but perhaps a sobering reminder. So we will take, for all of our relays, we will take the presentations on the ground, the presentation of the trophy, and of course the awarding of the ANZAC Day medal. Pendlebury 43, Nick Dacos 42, brother Josh 35 for starters, Roberts 42, certainly knows how to win the ball, the young man. Both teams heading over to the members wing now. For Essendon, 3 to Nate Caddy, a couple to Langford, a couple to Archer Day Wicks. But in the finish, it was just something, just everything. Something out of the ordinary that Collingwood produced after half-time. Remembering, at half-time, the margin was 14 points. And it ends up a 77-point win. Collingwood leading half-time.
Which breaks the record, Tone. 73 points, the previous biggest margin on ANZAC Day back in 2008. Yeah. Collingwood the victor on that occasion, so setting a record of 77-point margin.
Yeah, magnificent stuff it was from Collingwood. As Essendon stoically stay on the ground. But this was just something extraordinary that happened, especially after half-time, delivered by Collingwood. And for sentimental reasons, Pendlebury equals it next week, or gets Hawthorn on, gets Thursday night, so they've got to be up for that, and breaks the week after.
Against the Cats on a Saturday night here.
Oh, heavens, a big with that, but. So Hamish waiting for everyone to find their way here to the wing on the members' side, getting its last-minute instructions, and for sure it's going to be a Collingwood player voted best of field. Will it be Scott Pendlebury breaking James or bettering James Hurd? Hurd has 3 medals on this day, as does Pendlebury, but does he get a 4th? Or the brilliant Nick Dacos, scratchy early, but absolutely awe-inspiring after half-time. Both teams are ready. And Hamish will step up to the microphone. Hamish McLaughlin in a moment's time as we head to 6 o'clock on the eastern seaboard. 2017, 137 Collingwood, Essendon 9660.
Still 23.6 degrees here.
Yeah, there's certainly energy sapping, and it really showed in the finish where Collingwood just totally dominated. The golfing class was there. Here's Hamish.
First acknowledge the performance of the Essendon Football Club, who were beaten by a better side today. Would you now please welcome Jennifer Ward, mother of Benjamin Renato, who paid the ultimate sacrifice in action in Afghanistan in 2009 while serving in the Australian Army. Jennifer will present the ANZAC Day medal to the player whose conduct and play during the game best exemplifies the ANZAC spirit. Skill, courage in adversity, self-sacrifice, teamwork and fair play. And the winner of the ANZAC Day medal for the 4th time is Scott Pendlebury of the Collingwood Football Club.
I'd just like to thank every fan that rocks up today on behalf of both footy clubs. You make today such a privilege to play on. The atmosphere you guys create for both sides is unbelievable. To Essendon, it's always a great fight to play against you guys on a day like today. Keep chipping away at it. And to our boys, well done. Great win. Let's go on to the next one. Cheers, guys.
Could there have been any other result, Bruce?
No. Would you now please welcome Brayden Maynard, today's captain of the Collingwood Football Club, to receive the ANZAC Day trophy from both President of the Victorian Returned and Services League, Dr. Mark Schroeffel, and Jack Crawford, Acting CEO of RSL Victoria. This is a perpetual trophy provided by the RSL in dedication to the memory of those footballers who served in times of war. The names of the VFL footballers known to have sacrificed their lives during active service are inscribed on the trophy.
So Brayden Maynard, skipper, to receive this trophy. And Collingwood extend even further the dominance.
What a champion Scott Pendlebury is. Give it up for him one more time. Yeah, firstly, just want to say thank you to both clubs for participating in today. It's such a great game. It's more than a game today. We just want to show our respect to the ones that served and the ones that are serving today. So thank you very much for that. And then just respect to Essendon for coming today. It's a great game always. It's a massive occasion for all, and it's such a great day to be a part of. So thanks, guys.
So there we go.
Thank you, Brayden. Thank you all very much for coming. Get home safely. That concludes the ANZAC Day at the MCG for 2026.
Well done to you, Hamish. 3 minutes past 6 to our relays. Stay with us for a little while as we start the post-game discussion until 7 o'clock tonight. All thanks to Macca's. Try the new dunked chicken range. It's landed at Macca's, and it is an absolute beauty. Not the fairy tale ending, but what a magnificent achievement. Scott Pendlebury, 43 touches, and the ANZAC Day medalist. No matter who you follow, Collingwood or Essendon or just the game itself, how wonderful it is to have this put on every year. To Bruce Ruxton and Kevin Sheedy, whose brainchild 1995 has seen it grow into this wonderful, wonderful day. We're going to open up the lines now. Got plenty of time for your calls. For Nick Theodosi, Nick and his family, fabulous people they are, always buying prestige cars. They're looking for late model SUVs and European cars. And as Nick Theodosi has said for many, many years, over in North Melbourne, across the road from the North Melbourne footy ground, everybody should own a prestige car at least once in a lifetime. Not forgetting too, the Harvey Norman caller of the day, 133693, $100 gift card. Thanks to Harvey Norman, best brands, best range, best prices. Go Harvey Norman, 133693. As the callers are starting to come through now, just before we do, Lloydie, I'll just ask you, what's the real topic of discussion? Is it Collingwood's dominant victory, or I suppose the capitulation of Essendon?
Well, I think why the Collingwood was so happy after the game was they scored 137 points, so It's been an issue for them. They haven't been able to score all year, so they've had 78 points, 79 points, 87, 55, 39 and 88. So they were really happy with the way they played, and they only had the 5 goals at half-time, so to kick 15 after half-time and the way they moved it was really, really strong. But Lee and I spoke about it before the game. What is Essendon's game plan? Like, they have chopped and changed all year. They beat Melbourne with chipping the ball around. They went faster against the Gold Coast today. They went fast in the first half. Second half, they retreated. So I don't think they had that definable plan, despite that their effort has been much better in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But that's a given. You should expect that from every side that runs out to play AFL footy.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there was sort of a pretty hard-fought game, wasn't it, in the first half? I mean, Collingwood always looked a little bit better, goal or two better, but it's really then just the second half is when Collingwood got going. I mean, Pendlebury just was magnificent, and Josh and the Dacos has got them more involved. They started to use the ball much better, and they just completely overwhelmed Essendon, didn't they? So yeah, with it competitive in the first half, but certainly that second half was just. Sometimes they're just a one-off. I don't think that's going to happen if they play sort of every week after week after week. But on the day, the Collingwood good players, they just got better and better as the day went on.
It's a good point you make, Lee. Like the midfield step up of those champions, and they are champions. Pendlebury's a champion. Nick Dacos is a champion.
Yep.
De Goey's not a champion, but he's a big game player. And Josh Dacos off half-back. Whereas you look at Parrish, no impact in the midfield. Andrew McGrath, he has the odd moment or two, but he's not a midfielder, an A-grade midfielder. Zach Merritt was quiet today. I thought he was quiet, particularly after half-time. And then, unfortunately, they were jumped all over by the Collingwood ruckman.
We'll take your calls. We'll honour the callers as Collingwood just wait outside their race. Orlando joins us on the Nick Theodosi open line. Orlando, what's on your mind?
Hey, boys, how are we?
Good, thank you.
I just want to say, I haven't been alive for very long. I'm 18 years of age, right? Some of the greatest threats in society, I think, is war, some viruses, maybe famine. But the greatest threat to society is Ben Mackay of the Essendon Football Club. Please and please, please, drop him to the VFL. I don't care. Get rid of his contract. I'd pay him out. Just get rid of him.
All right, Orlando, I think you've made your point. He was bought there.
Not a fan of Ben Mackay. I think that's what we can take away.
Bought there for a
one.
reason, though, yeah. and they needed a good, strong body down back, and Ben Mackay provided all of that. But what's the balance sheet or the scorecards, Lloydie, from your point of view, say about Ben Mackay?
He doesn't hurt. Like all these backmen these days, like you think of Josh Battle and Barras, Harris Andrews, they mark the footy and then they hurt you and they impact the game. Ben doesn't do that. Like he's getting paid $1 million, but he's nervous with the footy in hand. He's nervous below his knees. He doesn't help you. He doesn't assist you in anything with winning the ball. But what I will say to him though, he gets 62 entries. So they were under threat massively to his defence today.
And speaking of which, Collingwood, the victorious side, Jackie Reid is in the winners' rooms. Let's celebrate the winners for Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives. As we head down to you, Jackie, in but a moment's time, you will see the victorious Collingwood team. Are there many in the rooms at the moment?
There certainly are. It's getting busier and busier as the seconds tick by as well. The injured Darcy Moore has just walked past in his tracksuit, pumping them all up, getting them ready for the team as they arrive. I haven't got a visual yet, but I can hear the clapping, so I believe they're about to turn the corner now. Isaac Quain are the first one to turn the corner with Josh Dacos, who we're going to be speaking with after they sing the team song. So Scott Pendlebury, obviously, had an amazing game by him with his daughter Darcy and his daughter his son Jax as well. They're all going to bring all the kids into the circle as they've become accustomed to doing. Dan Houston with the trophy wrapped in his hands at the minute. Nick Dacos is one of the last players to walk into the rooms. Just waiting on Jeremy Howe up the back as well, and Craig McRae with his daughters in tow. And I think, a few kids not happy already, but, they should be. It was a pretty big win by them. And just jumping in now, Jordan De Goey with his little baby as well. I reckon we're just about ready. We'll wait for that customary pause, the shush, and then still side bottom will get us going.
So, all thanks to Tobin Brothers Funeral, celebrating lives, and it's near enough the best star. Have a listen to this.
Upset children, rattled, absolutely rattled here, but still side bottom starts the song traditionally and scared the absolute life out of the infant he's holding. So I'll just see if we can track down Josh Dacos. I won't be long, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, excellent stuff there. Thank you, Jackie. We will stay in the rooms with you. There is some team news coming through from the Port Adelaide Geelong game. Beaver, which is due to start in about 25 minutes, something like that. And it is for Harvey Norman, up to 25% off big brand laptops at Harvey Norman now. Todd Marshall replaced by Jack Watkins, and Sam De Koning has been replaced by Brad Close, which is a bit of an interesting one because a tall for a mid-sized forward. No mucking about with Collingwood, one of the stars of the day, with 35 touches. Jackie is standing alongside you now.
It certainly is. Congratulations, Josh. A terrific performance, and you broke the 100-point barrier that you've been striving to get to for the last 17 games.
Feels so good. I kept looking up at the scoreboard. I don't often do, but we're kicking lots of goals and just seeing it tick over, and I think we scored 137 points in the end. So unbelievable feeling. I feel like a lot of the boys worked really hard. We've been behind the scenes, trying to find ways to get better, and I think today on the biggest stage we were able to do that, which was really pleasing.
I need a few words on Scott Pendlebury. He was just unbelievable out there today.
Incredible. He, I felt like early the game was quite hot, and just every time he got the ball, he's so calm. He always knows what he's going to do with it before he gets it, and I thought, there's no words to describe the performance today. It was quite silly what he was doing out there, even regardless of his age. Then when you factor in his age and how many games he's played, it blows your mind. But it's awesome to be out there with him.
It's amazing, Josh, when Oscar Stoone has his stints in the ruck late in the games, he tends to just start things in that centre bounce area.
Lee, how are you?
Good, Josh. How you going?
Yeah, he's a beast, and it's so good. I think he's only played 5 games for us, so his ceiling is so high. And like you said, he kick-starts us in the middle of the ground. We look dangerous. He gets the ball into Nick, Scott, or Bowie's hands, and we go from there. So he's been instrumental in centre bounce.
Hey,
sorry,
Josh, congratulations. I gave you the 1 vote in the middle, so you were awesome today. I went Pendlebury, N. Dacos, J. Dacos, so you're all sensational. In terms of the first half, we were quite frustrated with some of the turnovers from both sides, but particularly your side, where you didn't quite punish them for the amount of ball you had inside 50.
Appreciate that, Lloydie. I felt like you said earlier, it was quite scrappy. The game was quite quick, and we kind of struggled at times to connect. It looked like we're out and probably should have scored, and whether it was a fumble or skill execution was a little bit off. And after half-time, we just spoke about we've got more time than we think. We can, pause for a second, assess our options, and I thought we did that really well. And then in the last quarter, once we made the ground big, that was when the trigger handballs came to play and the run and dash from behind. And, I thought it was a really, great signs for us today. It's what we've been working towards, and felt so good.
It's just interesting, that one, isn't it, Josh, that every now and again, if you can have a half of footy where you just completely dominate like you did the 15-goal, it just relieves a bit of the pressure when you're just in, fighting hard to win games. Have a really big win every now and again really lifts the troops.
Absolutely. We, I think in offence today we had a big emphasis of working hard. We want to make them run. So when then they've got the ball, they have to slow down. They have to play their chip mark game, and we felt like that suited us. And I think you saw today just some of the efforts in offence, winning contests, and to be able to put on a score, it puts scoreboard pressure on. That's real out there, and it's a great feeling for us. We've been looking to break that 100 barrier for a while now, so I'm excited to see what the next fortnight brings.
And did you feel like by getting it in deeper, I think the issue for you guys is you haven't got the out-and-out power forward, but once you start to get the ball in a lot deeper, and it brought McStay and a few others into the game?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, we probably haven't been helping them. Like you said, DMAC does an unbelievable work for his size, but we probably need to get the ball in quicker so it's lower density, whether it's 1v1, 2v2. In the past, we've been getting it in when it's, 5v4, and it's pretty hard for any forward. So I thought today, we assessed the ground pretty well, and once we saw a 1v1, we took it in deep, and they looked super dangerous.
Do you still harbour, like in your own perfect world, would you be inside the midfield yourself for? Because I saw you play some amazing games doing that last year, but do you still harbour any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I still work on it behind the scenes, and occasionally, we do a few swaps out there, whether that's with Scott or when Nick gets a bit of attention. We've got a midfield that's going really well at the moment. Our back six is going well, but it's something that I'm definitely working towards, and even if I get little moments in there, I really enjoy it.
Josh, Tony Leonard here, just wanted to finish up with, specifically to the midfield makeup, is there a designated amount of time that Jordan De Goey goes in the middle? It just seems to give you another dimension, a power, goal-kicking forward, highly skilled as he is.
Yeah, there definitely would be. I think what's great about our team is we kind of adapt to how the game's going. I feel like you can't plan too far ahead in football. It's the game changes quick, and we use him when we feel like we probably need a lift in the contest or need someone on the move. So I think him and Bo have been awesome at that this year, and I think Geordie's building. Obviously, the concussion kind of hurt his form. Missing a couple of weeks, but I'm looking forward to seeing his next month of footy.
To you, your brother, your wonderful dad, mum, everything like that. We love the Dacos family. And I don't know whether you know this, but Peter told me before that collectively you equal the Panem records for fathers, sons or family at the Collingwood Football Club. Next week you'll break it.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's the first time I'm hearing that. That's pretty cool. I think growing up, hearing about what Dad did, and being able to watch his highlights. He's always my idol growing up, and for now Nick and I to be playing for the club he played for, be putting on the black and white stripes every week, and to be in records like that means the world, because we always just wanted to play at the top level. So to get to that level means a lot to us.
Well, I'm glad you've only just heard it, because I caught up with your father and he said he'd only just heard it earlier in the day. So well done to you Royal Collingwood company there with the Panem family. Enjoy the evening, and thanks to everyone at Collingwood who put on such a magnificent show.
Good talking with you boys. Have a great night.
Yeah, well, you too, young Josh. It was 2017 137 Collingwood, 9-6-60 Essendon, and could it not get any better for Scott Pendlebury, his fourth ANZAC medal? And I think, look, I can be outvoted here, everything like that, but we just might play the bowl predictions for Arrow Transport that we did 5 years ago and make it a highlight running through the week in everything that is here. Just repeating that team news for Harvey Norman, 25% off big brand laptops. So Harvey Norman, a change each. Todd Marshall been replaced by Jack Watkins. Port Adelaide, Sam de Koning replaced by Brad Close. To Jerry and other people who are just there waiting for us on the Nick Theodosi Prestige Cars Open Line when we return. Promise we will get there. It was something special from the Pies, winning by a record margin of 77 points. And a person that's been here from the bounce at midday Eastern time to 6:18 has been Bruce Eva. Beeve, is it a Herculean or Herculean performance?
Either, tomato.
Yeah, well, I tell you, so can I just give you, after such a great effort, punch half a dozen cans and a large capricciosa down the gullet.
I don't think I'll get through.
You're a star, mate.
Don't think I'll get through two before I'm going
in
to
the
have
land
some
of
shut eye.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Thanks for joining us today. We're still on air until 7 o'clock. If you've got something to say, our excellent panel here of Lee Matthews and Matthew Lloyd, 133693. That's the Nick Theodosi Prestige Cars Open Line. On a day of moment in Australian life, Anzac Day 2026, 92,231 at the G. Saw Scott Pendlebury arrive with his fourth Anzac Day medal, and Collingwood a record margin of 77 points over the Bombers across Australia. Thanks to Mac as you're listening to 3AW Football.
Changes in sexual performance are more common than most people realise, and support doesn't need to feel awkward. With MedExpress, everything happens privately online. Start by completing a short consultation reviewed by UK-registered clinicians. If eligible, treatment is delivered discreetly to your home, with ongoing support whenever you need it. You're not alone in this. Visit medexpress.co.uk/podcast to learn more.
Don't forget to subscribe to 3AW Football's new YouTube channel for all the latest news and views from Melbourne's best footy coverage. You're listening to 3AW's coverage of the 2026 AFL Premiership season. On air, online and on the 3AW app.
Good to have your company. This is Footy Post Game. All thanks to Macca's, calling all K-pop Demon Hunter fans. The Huntrix and Sergeant Boy meals are available now at Macca's. Certainly one absolute blowout, and Hawthorn certainly getting on top late in the game. From earlier on, it was a 49-point win for Hawthorn, 112-63. And here it was Collingwood 137 to Essendon 60. Let's get to a couple of the calls. Nick Theodosi, Prestige Cars Open Line. And it's 133693. Our best caller today, back in the studio We'll announce that just before 7 o'clock, and up for grabs a Harvey Norman Caller of the Day, a Harvey Norman $100 gift card, best brands, best range, best basically everything. Best prices, go Harvey Norman. Jerry joins us now. Jerry, I've got Lee Matthews ready for your call.
Oh, good. G'day, guys. How you going? Just the Collingwood football song has got a word in it. It's called Good Old Collingwood Forever. Not a bad job today by the old bloke in the team. Well done to Scotty Pendlebury. He's an absolute legend. And just a couple of things, boys. Do you think with the 5-day turnaround, would Collingwood be possibly thinking of so-called managing Pendlebury? I mean, he must be super fit for a 38-year-old, the way he gets around. But do you think they might manage him? In other words, rest him next week? And can you give us can anybody find out how Darcy Moore's progressing and when his return's likely? Thanks, boys.
That's all right, Jerry. Well, what we'll do, if Jackie Reid, if you've vacated the room, the Collingwood room, we'll certainly find that out for you, Jerry. That's for sure.
Just on his points there, Tony, I think expected to play this week, Darcy Moore. And in terms of what was the previous part?
Whether they would rest Pendles.
Oh, no, I think, sorry, just on that, I'm fortunate enough to obviously see Pendles a bit through coaching. He said his biggest rivalry, and he loved the battles with Geelong. So he's actually planned for a while out to have his milestone where he breaks it and he goes the all-time games record holder against Geelong. So,
which means he probably won't play next Thursday on that kind of scenario.
No, so next week draws it.
Right.
And then Geelong will break it.
When do you break it?
And then if he wasn't to play that, as Beaver said earlier, he would be at the SCG the week after. And then it was a West Coast game, I think, the week after that. So at Marvel. So I think, yes, Geelong in 2 weeks. So no rest for Pendles, I don't think.
No, but what they were able to do, I suppose, remembering, of course, too, not that there's anyone of Scott's age at Hawthorn, but Hawthorn have gone down to Tassie, so they've got to get back tonight as well. So it'll be even, Stevens, just from a team perspective, Jerry.
You'd be trying to ignore that part of, it's trying to get him through the season, I would have thought. I mean, so, okay, yes, we want to play, break the record at the MCG against a good opponent, all that kind of stuff. But if you really thought he didn't pull up that good, and therefore the 5-day break was not going to be good for his chance of not getting injured, what have you. I mean, that has to be the larger priority, doesn't it?
Don't know. Just because it won't be one of the biggest occasions in the history. Not in the history, but in maybe the history of the Collingwood Football Club or history of the AFL. So I think Pendles does see the bigger picture of these sorts of things. Even if they have to manage him a little bit next week.
Ahmad joins us on the Nick Theodosi Prestige Cars Open line. Ahmad, I've got Matty Lloyd ready to take your question.
Good evening, guys. I'm not a Bombers supporter. The way I watched the Bombers play today, it was horrible when they lose on the biggest game of the year, ANZAC Day. Lloydie, if you're a head coach of the Bombers, what would you do to respond after Bombers losing a big margin to the Pies? Do you feel disappointed?
Well, as Lee said earlier, they've only won one game in 18 weeks, so it's not a massive surprise when that happens and you lose by this amount. As I floated this pre-game, the way they won against Melbourne is probably a one-off. They probably chipped the ball around to protect their own defence, and they also probably wanted to stop Melbourne's fast ball movement and the way Melbourne play the game. But then teams see that and say, hey, we'll just sweat on them and we'll press the field and we'll squeeze in and we won't allow the uncontested marks. And it's a matter of time before they turn the footy over, and that's what we saw. So Collingwood had 1,000 more metres gained. And I'm not big on stats, but just when you look at the way the game played, Josh Dacos said we wanted to make the ground big on them. We wanted to spread the field. And after half-time, we spread the field on Essendon. And Essendon, the amount of ball they had, chipping the ball around and little dinky passes, I don't think that takes you too far. So I'd like to see them, like they were in the first quarter, make mistakes trying to move the ball forward. So I don't think it's a great way they played that second half.
Good question, Ahmad. You will be in the running. along with Jerry and Orlando from before, but the calls throughout the day for the Harvey Norman $100 gift card, best brands, best range, best prices. Go Harvey Norman. Breaking news, Beaver, and also Lloydie and Lee. Jai Cully at Melbourne, ACL tear, gone out for the season. That is some cruel news. And what's that, consecutive weeks? Is it second one he's done?
And on the opposite leg this time around.
Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear. With Jan, Jackie is in the Essendon rooms. Jackie, just for the moment, I know the Essendon's going to provide Kyle Langford for a quick chat with it, but I'm as obviously disappointed as that room is down there. What have you been able to glean as far as maybe injuries go, or just the general atmosphere of the place? Is there still a positivity because of the last couple of weeks? Admittedly, this was as bad a second half as good as the second half against the Dogs was going back 3 weeks ago.
Well, Tone, actually, Kyle Langford has the headset on now and he's ready to go. Kyle, you've just walked out of the team meeting with Brad Scott. Can you tell us a little bit about the message and feedback you've got there?
I think he kind of reiterated, but all us players are just so disappointed in what we did in that second half. I think we weren't playing great footy. Like, we didn't feel like we were hitting our straps in that first half. Obviously, a few fumbles, few missed kicks, but the second half was a step back what we've done in the last 2.5 weeks. So, very disappointed with the end output.
Now, you had a bunch of young players, big stage as well. How do you as a leader keep spirits high when that margin was getting wider and wider?
Yeah, look, they hung in there, but I mean, there was 9 debutants playing in front of, 9 ANZAC Day debutants playing in front of 90-odd thousand. I mean, you could probably say they were a little bit overawed by the occasion, but just what we've been building over the last 2 weeks, it's just disappointing. It's just a step backwards, and that's not the footy that we want to play, and I think that's the most disappointing part, that we've shown that we can play 4 quarters of really good pressured football, and we just didn't do that today.
Kyle, can you take it the Bomber fans who are listening, driving on the way home, into what you're most disappointed in? Is it that you went into your shells and you retreated? Was it the ball movement? Can you explain what you're most disappointed with?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard when you're out there. Scotty didn't mention too much about any of that, but it kind of felt like we couldn't get that offense going. We fumbled. We got beaten around the ball. And obviously they were just so slick with their hands, with their kicks. They cut us open, and their experience showed today. So, it's probably one of those things that we'll look back throughout the week. But right now, just disappointed with our pressure, probably most likely. I think in the last few weeks we've been able to really good at coming forward and stopping that handball chain, and this week we couldn't. So, off the top of my head, Lloydie, that's probably it.
Can I ask you too about the game style? Like, I watched the way you won against Melbourne, where there was, you took over like 160 or 150 marks, and then you went really fast against the Suns. Played well, but you played a different brand of football. Has it been altering as the weeks have gone by? Because I'm not seeing something consistent from one week to the next.
Yeah, well, I guess it changes with the opposition. The way they defend, the way they move the ball. So obviously every single week might be a slight tweak, but we don't want to be just kick the ball around and keeping soft kind of footy. We do want to be moving the ball forward, and it looked like tonight, at least when I was playing in the back line, we just couldn't quite get that through that mid-arc. Like, we were able to get it outside of the D50, but we couldn't transition that into our forward 50, and that's what we've done really well over the last 2.5 weeks. And again, just off the top of my head, it's hard to kind of review a game like that straight away, but I think that's what it kind of felt like for me.
Hey, with that cycle, I think everyone in footy lives the cycle of there's emotional response at the moment, going to be feeling miserable, but you got to jump into tomorrow and start afresh in the
ourselves here. Like, we really got to dig deep and own our mistakes, own our areas. That's something that every single player, coaches included, will be doing, and then we'll look to move forward. But you can't just kind of sweep a game like that under the rug. You've got to really learn from it, dive deep into what kind of happened, and then you can kind of look forward to Brisbane and the following weeks.
Brad Scott was really animated. I'm not sure if you saw that. I think it might have been at a 3/4 time break towards the midfield group. 62 to 34 entries, so it made it pretty difficult for the guys in the forward line to get anything happening, because it just balls seemed to live in Collingwood's half.
It's hard to be in a game with those kind of numbers. Obviously I didn't see the conversation with the mids, and I definitely felt when I was playing in the back line there, like they were getting some pretty good looks, and I thought the backs were really holding up pretty well, and the mids have done an outstanding job the last 2 weeks. They come up against a really good Gold Coast, and that, I kind of thought they put them to the sword a little bit, and maybe just based off, those stats, we might have gone backwards there.
What's the plan with your positioning, Kyle, in terms of, the last week or two, just going forward?
I wasn't really sure. Obviously, I've been playing that wing half-back role for the last couple of weeks, and by the sounds of it, we just needed a bit of a change. I think Andy went back into the back line, I went forward, so changed our structure around a little bit. But that's the game. I think we have pretty good flex in our team with players that can play multiple roles, and I guess that was my role tonight.
Kyle, genuinely appreciate anyone from a side that's gone under to front up to the media on 3AW, so we do thank you for that. Brighter times ahead. Thank you for joining us this evening.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Kyle Langford there from the Essendon rooms. Just repeating as we can go around the grounds for earlier today. All thanks to KO. Every AFL game of every round, you can watch them live and on demand in 4K with no ad breaks during play on KO Sports. Get them on board today. Earlier game, Hawthorn 112, Gold Coast 63. And at the MCG, 137 Collingwood to 60 Essendon, and play but a matter of moments from getting underway in Adelaide, Port Adelaide and Geelong. Jackie, are you still with us for the moment? If you are.
I sure am.
How about an injury report, please, for Deep Heat, extra strength, fast targeted pain relief from an iconic brand you know and trust. Deep Heat, feel it work.
Well, it looked like it was all clear for the Magpies, just a lot of bumps and bruises and just routine work done on legs. But for the Bombers, Archer May didn't finish the game. He had a left knee issue. I'm told they suspect it's an MCL injury, so he'll go off for scans sometime this week. Peter Wright also had a little bit of a structured check done on his right knee, but he was okay. Xavier Dersma, a cut to his forehead that he had patched up in the first term.
Excellent work. Thank you for all of your help today, Jackie. Just repeating some team news for Harvey Norman, up to 25% off big brand laptops at Harvey Norman now. Carlton has made a late change for the final game on this ANZAC day. Ollie Hollands is being managed. Matthew Cottrell comes into the side. Ollie Hollands flew to Perth to be with the team, but the decision was made very late to sit him out of tonight's game. And repeating the two changes, Port Adelaide, they lose Todd Marshall. Jack Watkins replaces him. Geelong lose Sam de Koning. Brad Close replaces him. The Nick Theodosi Prestige Cars open line. If you're selling a late model SUV or European car, always buying prestigecars.com.au. That's the website, always buying prestigecars.com.au, because everybody should own a Prestige car at least once in a lifetime. Fabulous day, in fact, a fabulous 2 days at the MCG. Last night's magnificent game for Melbourne and Richmond, it in its own way has created its own tradition. But the big one here, the 31st, and it is Collingwood now to about a 9-game advantage in this particular clash, a 77-point winner across Australia. Through 5AA in Adelaide, 6BR in Perth, all thanks to Mac as you're listening to 3AW Football.
Brandon and Caddy. Brandon drags Caddy to ground. Was their free kick paid? No. Caddy recovers best. Twisting and turning. Could have given off by hand to Durham. Says no, I'll do it myself.
Star 21. We keep you connected.
So that's the Star 21 goal of the day. 20 minutes to 7 o'clock. 20 years of keeping you connected with Star 21. We are underway for KO. Over in Adelaide, Geelong, 2 straight 12. Port Adelaide yet to score, but a good chance to goal. I think it's Mitch Georgiadis lining up. Back to your calls on the Nick Theodosi Prestige Cars open line. Elsa, welcome to the program. Matthew Lloyd to talk to you.
Hi, Matty Lloyd.
Hi, Elsa.
Hi, I am born a Bomber. Today's loss is very sad, but my question for you is, McKay, he had the opportunity to mark the ball, and he decided to hit it out. Where do you think he's at in his career?
Also, it's a lack of confidence. There's a lot of defenders who do that when they can fly for marks and they just fist it out of bounds. But what I will say, he's a whipping boy. I've been frustrated with him like you have been over many years, where you hope he would have come across from North Melbourne and could have been like a Harris Andrews or one of those gun defenders of the competition. But the midfield was smashed today, so I wouldn't be having a massive... Yes, he made a howler of a mistake early where he kicked it across the face of the goal and Collingwood kicked one, but the midfield was flogged, absolutely flogged by Collingwood's today. At halftime, I thought Dacos, Pendlebury, McCreary, De Goey lifted and the Bombers players couldn't. That's how I saw it. How did you see it, Elsa?
I mean, they played great in the first half, but the second half kind of let us down. But next time.
Yeah. Now you've been patient, and let's hope there's some with guys like I think Roby found it difficult today in the early in his career. Dyson Sharp found it difficult. Tom Edwards shouldn't be on the wing. Kako just got no supply. I thought Durham was disappointing. He's one of those players, and Caldwell. You need those guys to be playing really, really well. And they were beaten up through the midfield by Collingwood.
Lee, I know this is probably... Thanks, Elsa. Lee, I know this is probably how big's a piece of string, whatever question. But how can you be within 14 at halftime, any side, set aside today, and yes, it's not a great game, but you really hang in there, and yet the margin, there's an 11-goal turnaround in the second half to... totally and utterly means you've been obliterated.
Yeah, but I always think there's an element of sort of hope. And once you sort of like today, so Essendon come out hoping for the best. The same thing happened on Thursday night. I mean, when the Swans overwhelmed the Bulldogs late in the game after not being fairly competitive early. It's particularly a kind of they are a young team in experience and know-how. The whole Essendon group at this point in time. So once Collingwood got hold of them, they just dropped away really badly. Obviously, we saw that happen, but it's not that part's not as unusual as you'd like it to be, where you just lose hope. All of a sudden, we're in the game. Now we're 6 goals behind. And then you saw what happened in the last quarter. It was just a 9-goal quarter where it was completely demolition. So you've got to, I was just in Cole Langford, we spoke to before. You've got to sort of learn what you can. But the problem with Essendon is keeping the morale up so that the hope and belief is still bubbling rather than just purely on the game today, on the second half. Well, they're hopeless. But you can't sort of be accepting you're hopeless.
What was the most, Lee, you as a coach, like what was your toughest period, say in your Brisbane time or whatever, where you have to try and say, how do I get them up this week?
Well, in the post-premiership era, I think it was 06, we'd lost 7 in a row. We ended up going to Perth, and somehow or other we beat the Eagles in Perth. But we'd lost 7 in a row. So, I mean, you very rarely in your footy life you're not going to go through some period where things are just not going and not working. But that problem of sort of persevering, like in terms of the review process, for instance, you have like today. If you went through the review process today with Essendon, you kind of, it's hard to find good things, but you got to find things that actually are good, that gives them a bit of belief, because there's a lot of things that the scoreboard is dragging you down. So it's an enormous challenge, because as we know, well, you mentioned it, they won one game in the last 19, so they're clearly a long way off the pace of being a good team. It's a matter of they be a competitive one.
Without raining on any parade, you don't do it on radio, sort of perhaps downplay a Collingwood victory. But is the Collingwood victory, in your eyes, Lee, given the troubles, say, for 2 weeks that Essendon has had, slightly inflated?
Oh, not really. I mean, what you see is what you get today. I mean, today it was an 8-goal first half. I mean, Collingwood were a little bit better, but really they were only a goal or two in front.
Yep.
And then, but in the second half, remember, Collingwood, I think, are still a good team. I mean, it's all right to say that they've got a lot of ageing veterans in it. Pendlebury's a good example. Well, he's a veteran, but he was best on ground veteran today, so it didn't do him any harm. He's just been a wonderful player for a long time. So I think Collingwood is still, to me, at least a top half team.
Yep.
Whether they can be a top 4 team, but that what they've struggled to do is what they eventually did today is kicking a really big score against anybody.
Lee, while you've got the microphone for the 3AW player of the game, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Lloydie, you voted on this game as well. I'll get your official votes, which I think will pretty much mirror what Lee has to say, but the one vote, Lee?
Well, no, I'm going to go the other way because I know we like to go from the one vote, but the way you do your votes is who's the best player on the ground. And to me, that was Scott Pendlebury. Yep. I mean, I agree with Lloydie on most of these first few. And Nick Dacos was magnificent too, but I think Pendlebury was just a bit better, so you gave Nick 4. Then you come to the third. Now you start getting into who's in this next batch. I mean, Pendlebury and Dacos were so much the best 2 players on the ground. And I went for Josh Dacos 3, and as Lloydie did. Then again, you start to say, well, who's next? I went for DeGoey 2 and Chris 1. So my votes, depending on which direction you want to go. But the big one for me, and you think about it, I mean, the umpires might be looking at the stats post-game now, right? So Archie Roberts for Essendon has had 42 disposals. Now, you just the fact he got the ball in his hands 42 times, but I couldn't fit him in my best 5 because I didn't really think his impact was more than the ones that I did. It's interesting, isn't it, when you can get a lot of ball in hand and not necessarily be overwhelmingly one of the best handful of players on the ground.
Yeah, he's someone, obviously, I've got a massive affection for because I've been able to coach him as a kid. But I'm with you, Lee. I don't think he was in the best 5 players on the ground because of his effect. But he's also been hurt by probably not getting a lot of support around him. And even I think he could be coached in a situation where at times he might wrap around boundary side, get a handball. He might draw it out of players that doesn't help the team. But, again, that's coaching, and he's got to be taught these things because he's a wonderful player. He attacks the ball. He's one of their best competitors. So he's a big tick for them right now, but he could be coached to be even more damaging.
And he's playing as the back 6. I mean, at the moment, they haven't got a settled side anywhere. No. But can he be a really high-gathering centre square player, for instance?
They tried it in the first week or two, and I thought he struggled a little bit. Yep. So I think that might be next year. I'm not sure if it's right now.
So, Lloydie, you were the official voter. Yes. You went 3 Pendlebury?
Yes. I went the same as Lee. 3 Pendlebury, 2 N Dacos, 1 J Dacos, and I was weighing up whether DeGoey or Chris replaced J Dacos at times. Yeah, so we sort of exactly the same.
And how many voted?
I haven't seen them. There was 4, I think 4. Myself, Isaac Smith, Luke Ball, and Karen Lyon from The Age.
Yes.
And I haven't seen how they voted just yet.
It always makes for interesting when they are published.
Yeah, seriously, you'd be very surprised if anyone, you'd be very surprised if everyone didn't have Pendlebury best and Dacos second best. The rest of it might have been up for grabs.
Yes.
Now, the Milwaukee heavy-duty play of the day. If you're a tradie, you just can't beat Milwaukee Tools. They are forever for the job sites and forever for the trade. Now, with the Milwaukee Tools, tough, powerful, durable. But there was a goal in that final quarter, and I think I was calling it, Lloydie, when it went through 4 sets of hands, and it was if DeGoey didn't want to kick it, Lipinski didn't want to kick it, Pendlebury didn't want to kick it, and it was all in basically a straight line 20 metres out. I think it went back to DeGoey, who snapped the goal. And I'm just thinking, if you want the best Milwaukee Tools heavy-duty play of the day, that to me was the cleanest, in a tight area, play of the day.
Can I nominate another one?
Please do.
That one where little Kako, he's the smallest player on the ground, and against 2 big Essendon defenders, he's forced his body, or he forced his foot to be able to kick the ball off the ground for a goal. I mean, that was really robust play for very small men.
Yeah, sometimes, Lloydie, when Lee disagrees with you...
No, not disagree. I'm just another example, I guess, of what we're looking for in the Milwaukee award.
Yeah, no, thank you, Lee, but you actually do feel somewhat inferior when you actually say, no, look, I'm just looking at it this way, we'll do that. So it best to feel Scott Pendlebury on a day of absolute magic from him. 43 touches, his personal best, 4th ANZAC day medal, eclipsing James Hird. And it was a great moment. Next week against Hawthorn, he equals Boomer Harvey's record. And then the following week against Geelong, he breaks the game's record. Around the grounds very quickly for KO. We're about 10 minutes into the first quarter, and Geelong 3 straight 18 lead Port Adelaide 1-1-7. Hawthorn by 49 earlier today, 77 by Collingwood in the game that has just finished right across Australia. Thanks to Maccas, you're listening to 3AW Football.
Don't forget to subscribe to 3AW Football's new YouTube channel for all the latest news and views from Melbourne's best footy coverage. You're listening to 3AW's coverage of the 2026 AFL Premiership season. On air, online and on the 3AW app.
I'll go. Jamie Elliott, I think he'll be the highest goal scorer on the ground, and I think that'll be around 5 goals today.
That is locked in.
I'm going to go for a run off the block. I reckon Archer May's really starting to come through. I think he might kick 4.
4 for Archer May. That's locked in as well. Tone.
Beaver, who holds the record for the most ANZAC Day medals?
Scott Pendlebury, I believe.
Is one. And someone that Hurdy... sorry, I'm not giving it away now. And someone that Lloydie played with.
James Hurd.
We witnessed today Pendlebury wins the ANZAC Day medal and becomes outright owner of a prestigious honour in Australian football. Pendlebury best of field, and with making it his 4th medal.
That is very bold at the age of 38, but you wouldn't put it past Pendles. Down to you, Jackie Reid.
I think Isaac Kako, 4 goals from him today.
Okay, we're all in the goals apart from
Yeah,
Tone.
everyone's in the goals. Thank you very much.
Hey, Tone, couldn't you have only played yours and not Lee's and I's and
well done,
humiliate us? And
I'm just, you know, you've got to learn from your experiences, Lloydie. I've got to go less bold to be more accurate.
Around the grounds for KO Television, ad-free every game. It is 3 straight 18 Geelong, 1-3-9 Port Adelaide. Just some late team news for Harvey Norman, up to 25% off selected big brand laptops. Harvey Norman now. Ollie Hollands made the trip to Perth, but has decided to be managed late. Matthew Cottrell comes into the side for the Blues. For our friends at 6PR, we know that it is a very, very big night for you, the Len Hall tribute game, Fremantle hosting Carlton. You will have your own coverage. We'll do our coverage over here with Matt Granlund and the team heading up the commentary there. It was a great day today, 92,231